This is a Grotti Turismo-R, an evolution of the Grotti Turismo from GTA 4, which was already then the most brilliant car in the game. Let's see if this car will be as brilliant as its predecessor. Let's go over the stats of this car. First of all, there's the part, the engine. It's a massive 7.2 litre V12, which packs out 799 horsepower. This car has a top speed of 210 miles an hour, and will go from 0 to 60 in just 2.8 seconds, making it the fastest accelerating car in the game. The previous fastest accelerating car was the Infernus, with its 3.5 or something like that, 3 point something seconds. But this car now is the clear winner of acceleration. Let's see if this is as brilliant a car as it was in the previous game, GTA 4. Surely it can only get better. Let's find out just how brilliant this car probably is. The first test I'm going to do is going to be a top speed acceleration test. Let's test out all those horsepowers and see how quick we can go. Let's see how fast this Grotti Turismo-R can go. One thing I did forget to mention earlier was the price for all this extravagant power and flamboyancy. It's $500,000, which is actually relatively cheap if you compare it to something like an Entity or an Adder, which you can, although they're faster. This really is quite a bargain of a car. Anyway, let's go and see how fast we can go. Hardly any wheel spin off the line, even though it is rear wheel drive. As we can see, the acceleration is very, very good. Absolutely flooring it down here now. Reaching top gear now. And I think that was probably its top speed reach. And as we can see, it also has incredibly good brakes. So far, this looks like a very promising car. The second test is going to be a cornering test. We're going to see how quickly this Turismo can go around corners. Surely, it should go around them pretty quickly, with all that amazing steering power, horsepowers, top speed and acceleration. Let's see if there's any oversteer or understeer. We're going to test the steering. Let's see how it goes round these corners on this tight mountain road. Let's take it up to a corner like this, a fairly tight one. Wow, no hint of understeer whatsoever, or oversteer. So far it looks like the steering is absolutely perfect. Let's try another corner. This is a really tight one, so we'll use some brakes. Yep, that steering so far is absolutely faultless. It's just so responsive as well. It changes direction so quickly. This really is amazing. There's no understeer, and the steering is so responsive. Let's go and take some more of these fantastic corners. What really strikes me also is how light this car is. It weighs absolutely nothing. It's lighter than a coil Voltic. This has got to be one of the lightest cars in the game, and it's just so nimble on its feet. So far, this looks absolutely amazing. It's just tearing into these corners at incredible speeds, no understeer whatsoever, and it's so light and nimble. This really is amazing. This next test, the third test, is going to be a drifting test. We're going to see just how sideways we can get this Grotti Turismo-R. Let's go and see what this little car is like as a drifter. First of all, let's try and use the power on this corner. Whoa there, little slide using power. Let's try power again. Come in, push it hard, and then put the throttle on. It does tend to go a bit wide when you do that, but yeah, you can drift it using the power. Let's try using brakes. Come up, Squeeze and throttle. It doesn't like the brakes so much, although it prefers power apparently. Let's try again. You probably could drift it with the brakes. Let's try using handbrake. As usual, handbrake is the best way to get spectacular slides like that. Wow, it really is good at handbraking. Even when you push it too hard, this car is very, very forgiving indeed. It will do its level best not to spin out on you. This really is a very impressive little car, very trustworthy and very driftable. The final test we're going to do is see how quick this Grotti Turismo can go around our racetrack. We're going to see if it can beat the entity's time, and then we're going to put its time on the lap board. Now we're going to take this car on a lap of my track. Let's see how fast this Italian beast can do it. No wheel spin off the line, even though it is only rear wheel drive. There should be lots of wheel spin. That's another thing that amazes me about this car. Take every corner on the most inside possible. Went a bit wide there. It really is very light and very nimble. There's a nice straight here so the V12 can unleash its power. Listen to that Italian roar and passion. Few corners left now. Slight left turn, no understeer at all. Very sharp left coming up. The brake can slow right down before flooring it off again. Coming around the last sweeping bend now. You should be able to see the finish line now. Yes, there it is. And across the line. Let's see the time. It did it in 1 minute 20.643. That is a very good time indeed. But will it have beaten the entity? Let's have a look at the leaderboard and find out in a minute. Here we have the lap times. As we see, the Grotti Turismo-R has absolutely shattered the overflowed entity XF's record. The Grotti Turismo has done it in 1 minute 20 seconds 643, and as we can see, the overflowed entity did it in 1 minute 22.445. We can see it has shattered its record by 2 seconds, and that in racing terms is a lot. I don't know how on earth a car that does 210 miles an hour has beat a hypercar that does 240 miles an hour. The overflod is 30 miles an hour faster, and the Grotti still beat it. This just goes to prove what an unbelievably brilliant car the Turismo is. It can take on hypercar royalty and humiliate it. This is incredible, and surely the Turismo's time is going to be very hard to beat indeed. So then, what are my conclusions about the Grotti Turismo-R? Well, I think this is single-handedly the most excellent car in the game. It is mind-blowingly brilliant. It is so fast, the acceleration is so good, the looks are pretty good too. It is so well balanced, the steering is so good. This really is a triumph of a car. This is a classic example of how to build a car. This is a masterpiece of Italian engineering. It is so worth the $500,000. It is also so forgiving. This really is a classic example of a brilliant, mind-blowingly, mesmerisingly good car. I would recommend this to anybody who has a spare $500,000. Until next time, I'm Grotti Nightfall.